agrees to make this machine function is compassion, collaboration, and open communication, and above all, respect. Turnover of our staff has been a great concern. We have seen, I believe, over the past few years, over 20 staff members leave our schools. Some that will never fill the shoes of. Why is that? So I ask you all to imagine for one moment being a middle school student that cannot read or perform basic math skills, and the teacher calls upon Michelle and says, hey, can you read those couple of sentences for me? And that child sitting there looking at all the peers, shaking, and at that point more than likely is going to act out in some way to get out of that classroom. This happens, it's real. An advanced student sits in a classroom not challenged. They get bored. What happens when they get bored? Their education goes backwards. They lose interest. Daily peer-related challenges, as we all know, just being a middle schooler, you know, getting along with everybody and things happen, is hard enough in itself without the barrier of education and the lack of learning. And we can miss learning disabilities. We've seen children come into the high school that had dyslexia. They spent many of their years at Seabrook School, bomb threats, doing things they shouldn't have been doing, and nobody noticed that they had dyslexia. And boom, there you go. So taking punitive action on students will not work. Let us find the root cause and remove the barriers that hinder learning. Keep in mind, in many circumstances, may not always be a behavior issue. And yes, I agree. The behavior within our school is about 48 infractions last year. However, Hampton had 28. So are they all reported? We don't know that, but I'm just trying to say we can't just say it's all behavior is why the kids aren't being educated. Yes, it's interruptive. We used to have a class with a very, very, very strong person in the class that would see upwards to 30 kids a day. And it might have been for 15 minutes. It may have been for an hour. It may have been for a couple of days if that kid needed to go and work out whatever was going on. But you know what? They were educated while they were sitting in there too. They had the support. So infighting is not going to work. To sit and just keep, as a board, whether it's at the selectman seat, the school board seat, we all need each other. We need to bridge that gap because we need the selectmen to work with us and they need us to work with them in order to help our kids along with all of you. So the infighting has to stop. We're all adults. Being autocratic won't work. Why me? Sitting here asking for your support as a school board member, because I've served 13 years as a board member. I have experience pre-K through 12th grade. In my humble opinion, it's evident that SAU 21 is not working for our students. We must find resolve. We have one superintendent and now 3 assistants. We just assigned another one. So 4 superintendents. Give one to Seabrook School like tomorrow to focus directly on us until we can resolve this matter. And can that happen? Absolutely. We assigned for Seabrook a superintendent to oversee our school because it was back maybe, I want to say 7, 8 years ago. We've been struggling for a long time. It's just never gotten this bad. So we had the attention of that superintendent. We don't have that anymore. We have superintendents that come and sit at our board meetings, and I've seen it time and time again, and you may have seen this. They come and they say, we got to be to Hampton Falls by 6:30, and the board's sitting there not ready to be finished with business, and that's what happens. And no, you have to stay with us because we need you right now today. So reallocate, do whatever we need to do. We need attention. Our kids need attention. And as your elected official, I offer you the experience to get the job done. I will work as a team to focus 100% on our students' education, safety, and well-being. In close, I see you and I hear you. I've heard your cries. And transparency is a must as we move forward. We need to be open and welcoming. I don't ever want to go to another board meeting again and have the superintendent and the chair say, no, I'm sorry, we cannot speak to you. Our board is not allowed to speak to you. We're not allowing them to answer your questions. I thought, where am I? Sitting in my library at my school, and that needs to change. And thankfully, Kelly, Jen, and Michelle, all three of them that currently sit on the board, I went up and I asked a simple question: whose policies are these? And they said ours. Who has the power to change and table those policies if needed? We do. Please do that. And they did. They voted and they were able to speak to the public that that's what their job is, right? So it happened, and I'm so grateful for that. Being a school board member is such an honor. Together we can turn our school into the right direction immediately, and I speak from experience again of making this happen with only the utmost respect. I will not forget that as a public servant, I am directly accountable to the residents of Seabrook and all of our students. Please exercise your right to vote. Our kids' education is dependent upon it. Again, my name's Maria Brown. My number's 603-814-9161. Anybody needs to speak to me. I have an open door policy, and I've sat a good many a times in Market Basket. My ice cream was melted when I got home, but you were worth it, and your kids are worth it. So thank you, and please get out to vote.